Hello, hello, everybody. My name is Kayla Marie Coates. This is
Captain Ron.
And this is our special guest,
Lady GAIL.
Lady GAIL, and welcome to, according to Captain Ron's record, which is the unfiltered. What's my?
Even I forget. I'm old. I'm allowed, but not her.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we've done this. The unedited, unfiltered, pure and real take from the perspective of Captain Ron Ledesma.
And tonight, his wife, GAIL.
Lady GAIL.
Dun dun dun. Secrets are about to be spilled in this episode. So tonight, I asked Lady GAIL to pick out a record that reminded her of Captain Ron. So, Lady GAIL, what did you pick?
I picked Inside by Paul Horn, which is, he actually recorded this entire album inside the Taj Mahal, and he was the sole musician on the entire album. It's very different. He was. He didn't write any of the music. He just played what came to him. At least that's my understanding while he was there. And the reason it reminds me of Ronnie is because he has that kind of ethereal love of just pure music. And also the Taj Mahal, of course, was built for the, what would he be?
For his wife.
The man's wife. I forget who the guy was, but he built it because he loved his wife. And I think he might have built it after she died, but I'm not sure about that. Anyway, it's a lovely album, and it makes me think of Ronnie as he was when I first met him and as he still is.
And Paul Horn is a flautist, not to be confused with a flauta, which is something you eat at a Mexican restaurant. Yeah, flauta is different than a flautist.
I dream about them.
Yes.
I mean, I guess in both senses, flautists and
Flautas. I know how to make flautas.
As I'm daydreaming about flautas, my favorite Mexican restaurant just raised their prices on their creamy chicken flautas, like $5 extra.
Yikes.
I know.
Are they that good?
Oh, I mean, they are, but it just hurts a little bit that we have to pay $5 extra.
It's good that we had tamales tonight.
Yeah, homemade tamales tonight.
Yes, we had homemade tamales and homemade beans and homemade rice
that's
and
delicious.
homemade chili.
Yeah.
Chili Colorado.
Delicious. All right. So I'm actually going to keep this up for our audience to see. Sorry, I'm getting signals from Julian behind the camera. We have sound guy and technical dude, person, being. Because we have an extra guest tonight, we had to improvise and bring on an extra microphone, which is this. So we hope that there is enough power for the entire episode of this mic, and I hope I am holding it in the correct manners the entire episode. Yes.
No cables.
No
Notice.
cables.
Wireless.
So we're just gonna roll with it. Okay, so. I gotta hand it to you, Captain Ron. You really came in clutch with this microphone. I love puns.
She came to interview with for three people and only brought 2 mics.
Okay, well, in my defense, I brought all of the lavalier mics that you have given me, I actually have 3 other lavalier mics over there, but none of them have like the battery packs that are necessary for the mixer. But technical talk.
Live and learn. That's all right, folks. I'm used to dealing with amateurs. Oh! I didn't mean her. I didn't mean her.
This is what I'm here for. Honey, behave yourself.
Okay.
Thank you, Lady GAIL. Okay, so let's get into the dirt, shall we? So,
Yes, we're dirty.
Oh,
She was talking about your housekeeping.
I don't know if I want to know that, but
Whatever you think, double it.
am I blushing? Are you blushing?
Yeah.
Okay. okay, maybe this was a bad idea, Kayla. Anyway, the first thing I want to ask you is, what are both of your first memories of each other? But I'm going to have Lady GAIL go first.
Memories in terms of what I saw, what I felt.
First memory that you have of Captain Ron.
My first memory is of Captain Ron at a convention where I also happened to be, and he was bossing a bunch of people around that had cameras and microphones, and he was directing them what they should be doing. We were there to hear Edwin B. Newman talk about the English language and the use of English. And I just happened to be sitting on the second row in the front. I always sat in the front so I wouldn't fall asleep. And I was on the end, and I knew, okay, they're taking pictures. I'm a photographer. He probably needs this seat. So I said, would you like this seat? I can move. And he said to me, no, that's okay. I'll sit next to you. And I thought, oh my God. And he did sit next to me. And the one thing I noticed, he did a little interview of me. I'll let you tell that. The one thing I noticed was his vibrations were very warm. He felt just warm and safe. Seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, that's a very, very sweet story, GAIL, and I have to give it to you. I think you're telling the truth. But I do have to bring up the fact that last episode, Captain Ron told a different story of how you met, which was at Disneyland, and you were doing the glasses and the.
Oh yeah.
He was wearing those
When
he interviewed me.
Interesting. So see how these two takes are different and opposing each other. It's just an interesting fact right there.
Yeah.
You perceive.
She saw me working, and that's when she addressed me. And so I decided to then interview her. So.
And he put on his
glasses
and the nose. I thought, oh my gosh, what a nerd. Tell him what you did. Interview me.
I interviewed. I asked you, why did you come to this? And you said, because my boss would send me.
This is the one thing my boss would send me to.
So it was a paying customer. Hey. So she came not only because she was a part of the chapter of the American Society for Training and Development, which was actually conducting the conference. She was a hostess. Yes. She was a hostess there, and that's why she was trying to find a seat for me. She was trying to be a good hostess. So, I think, yeah, sure.
Whatever.
And so she found me a seat, and I didn't want her seat, so I sat next to her just like this.
Not exactly. Not so close.
No, I was more like.
I was a little off-put. I wasn't there to find a date. I was there to work.
Yeah.
Yes, and
she was working.
I just happened to be single at the time, but I didn't want to be hustled. Okay? So I was kind of a little bit snotty when I said, because this is the only conference my boss would send me to.
And I used that in the show that I did. Yes.
Did he put it on the show? He made his slideshow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that recording that I made, I used. It was a good one. Everybody got a good laugh out of that, because
I'm sure they did.
we talked about boondoggles, remember?
Mm-hmm. I was about to bring that up.
We were at Disneyland, and that's what made it a boondoggle. We were at the convention center the night we met, and so we weren't at the actual park. We were across the street, I think, weren't we? I think the convention center was right around where the park is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we were part of the facilities, and the next night I think we went to Disneyland.
One of the nights.
Yeah. And then we had a date.
Ooh, and how did that occur?
Actually, we had a date before that.
Did we?
The Jolly Roger date?
Yeah.
Yeah, because later that afternoon or the next afternoon, there was a gathering of all the people and, getting everybody together and have drinks.
Meet and greet.
And, meet and greet and drink. And so...
Did I say drinks?
And so I spotted him. I think I was up on something because I was a hostess or a host. And I spotted him over there, and he's looking at me.
Lovingly.
Leaving, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's that guy again.
Who's this nerd?
And then everybody started filing out, or I don't know, somehow we kind of got together, and he said, would you like to get out of here? I said yes, because it was so crowded and hot. And then when I got outside, I said, I don't know, I really don't know you, so, because he wanted to go to Jolly Roger. I really don't know you. You could be Mr. Goodbar. Do you know about Mr. Good? There was a movie out, this was a long time ago, called Looking for Mr. Goodbar, where young women would go to bars and pick up guys, or guys would pick them up, and there was a guy who was murdering women, young women.
She thought I might have been a mass murderer.
And I said, oh.
I mean, understandable.
Yeah.
I said to myself, what am I doing? I don't even know this guy. Anyway, so we went to the Jolly Roger and talked for hours and got to know each other.
Well, that's wonderful.
That's
and
correct.
What did you think about Captain Ron after that?
I thought he was wonderful. I remember I went back home and I told my mom, you know, I met this guy that was so great. I totally trust him. I don't know why. I've never totally trusted anybody. But if he asked me to run away with him, I would.
Wow. That's,
And then she made the mistake of telling me that, so I immediately asked her to run away with
I
me.
didn't either.
Oh, that was a good story, though.
No, it is a good story. No, that's so interesting, though, how you said you didn't trust anybody like that, but you
No.
did feel this way with Captain Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And look, 40 years later.
That's
here we
true.
are, 42 years later.
Yeah.
I love how that comes full circle.
Yes.
That's cute. Well, now moving on to...
Oh, granddaughter. Ugh. You never seen us give a kiss before?
That's
Give me a
not
kiss.
true.
There.
Adorable. I know those who are just listening didn't see it, but they had a really nice moment just now. But anywho, okay,
Yeah.
moving on to the next question.
Go
I
ahead.
have. What
Is there a prize at the end
say-
if we answer right?
I mean, you know, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I might have a surprise in store
Okay.
for you.
Then let's go for it.
Okay. So, the next question is, what would you say is your craziest memory of each other?
Did it have something to do with nudity?
Well, the nude beach.
Well, yeah, there was the nude beach thing. Yeah.
Yeah. He talked me into going to the nude beach. Apparently,
She trusted me.
Yes.
Well, yeah, she trusted you more than she's trusted
Yeah.
anybody, so.
Yeah.
Apparently, he had visited the nude beach around San Francisco. Well, actually, what was that town?
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz.
It was called the Red, White, and Blue Beach. Anybody who lives up in the Bay Area knows about the Red, White, and Blue Beach because people go there to get nude.
And he had been there before, and I had never been to a nude beach. I never would have even thought of it. And I was really nervous. I'm very modest about my body in the first place, and I was brought up to be modest about my body. So the thought of taking my clothes off and walking around naked on the beach where other people could see me was like
Terrifying.
pretty terrifying. So he took me on a day during the middle of the day, I think, or the early morning, when there was like one other person on that beach. And of course, that one other person came after we did, and he laid his blanket down about 10 feet from us. And here's a whole damn beach he could have been at. And I think I had my shirt like on, at least partially.
I don't
For
know.
part of the time, because I was too nervous. Anyway, I decided, I kept telling myself, well, the birds are out here and they don't have clothes on. And
that
they're-
justifies things.
They're being natural, so why shouldn't I get natural?
Of course.
Yes.
And then, so that was my first experience. And then as we visited the nude beach a few more times, I got more relaxed about it. And then for a while, every time I went to the beach, I wanted to take my clothes off.
See, it's not that bad. Isn't it kind of like freeing? And,
It is.
And all of that stuff to be just completely in your natural state.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And it really opened my eyes
Yeah.
about how modestly I had been raised and how ridiculous it was.
Completely,
I mean,
yeah.
we don't want to all run around naked because
Not all the time.
that wouldn't
no,
work.
Scare children,
But-
little children
Sure,
would be,
exactly.
oh yeah, be awful.
And we took Eric once,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, or twice. We took him when he was, I don't know, he was 6 or something.
yeah, that was part of attitude about, at least from my point of view, of teaching our children to fit in wherever they go and get used to a variety of experiences so they wouldn't grow up without that kind of social knowledge. They'd be comfortable in their skin and understand the wide variety of people in the world and how to fit in different situations.
Literally in their skin.
Yeah.
In their skin.
completely. I
Yeah.
think that's so important
Yeah.
and such a great thing that you did, I do gotta ask, what made you...
So when did your mom
think
take you to the nude
what-
beach?
Never.
Well, just one second before you move on. Eric was great. He loved it, no problem. He dug in the sand, just like a little kid, until he turned about 7.5. And all of a sudden, he didn't want to take his clothes off, and he was watching all the girls playing volleyball. And we said, okay, this is the last time he's coming to the nude beach. He was suddenly aware.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I do gotta ask, what made you think to ask Lady GAIL to go to a nude beach of all things?
At that time, we were getting to know each other, and everything was pretty much fair game. When you meet,
Everything was
well,
fair game,
when
apparently.
you meet someone and you want to know who they are, you explore every possibility to see what's acceptable and what isn't. So it wasn't no one twisted anybody's arm. It was just
Lascivious. It
Right.
wasn't lascivious.
No.
I don't know. Yeah.
it was a part of getting to know each other and how compatible we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the timeline of this in your relationship?
Oh, first 2 years.
First two, was that
First
it?
2 or 3 years, yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not bad.
that's true. I'm thinking of Eric's age. Yeah.
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 See, for some reason, I thought that this was like 6 months in, and you're like, yeah, let's go to a nude beach.
No.
I mean, not to say that that's a bad thing. I mean, I'm very comfortable in my own skin and with nudity and all that stuff. Like, I don't really care, but
La 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 la, I don't want to hear la 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 la
Hey,
la
this
la
is
la la.
too much information. For
Too
my
much- yeah, I don't want to hear
parents,
about my
but
granddaughter.
Anyway, moving on.
What?
Hey, we just told her about our nudity.
Well,
Why
that's
are you-
okay.
They're human bodies. That's the point. Is they're human bodies.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
Everybody's got them.
Yes.
You know.
They do. We do. We all have a
So-
body.
Anywho.
Move on.
Move on. Well, that was
Anyway,
one
yes.
interesting thing to talk about.
So,
What
that
next?
was the craziest thing, I think, for you. And then for you, what is your craziest memory?
Oh, jeez. With GAIL,
Yeah.
the two of us,
With
Yes.
GAIL.
I think it was exciting things we did. Going skiing and you falling and cracking your head.
Whoa.
That was not good.
Well, that is crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. She
what
came
I
down the
asked.
mountain on a
Toboggan.
toboggan
With
after
the
she.
ski patrol.
Oh my gosh.
It was icy at the top of the ski lift
Where?
in Mount Shasta.
Oh
At the
gosh.
top of the ski lift, she got off the lift, and then people were in her way, and the only thing she could
They
do,
fell down in front of me because it was icy and, yeah,
and she fell backwards and hit her head,
trying to avoid them.
hit her head on the ice. Oh, that ruined the day. That'll ruin anybody's
that
day.
would ruin anybody's day.
Only
Yeah,
the
that would
day.
ruin anybody's day.
Actually, it ruined my week or so.
Yeah.
She was concussed. So
You were probably ruined for like a
Yeah.
month or something. Concussions are not a fun time. I've had at least one,
Yes.
maybe two. No, I've had like 2 concussions. Not
Yeah.
a good time.
Oh, other crazy moments where my ex-wife, Gail, and I and Eric were all in one place at one time, and a fight.
Linda?
Yes, and an argument.
Linda?
And an argument erupted, and Gail wound up taking Eric aside and waited while Linda and I had our discussion.
And for how long did that last?
Oh, about 5 minutes. I don't know.
Maybe longer.
I don't know.
And I told him, you guys should talk through your lawyer. That's what lawyers are for.
Yeah.
When the
And so-
divorces are messy.
Yes, we talked about that last episode that Linda and I had a contentious divorce because of child custody, and that argument that day was one of I went to get Eric because it was my time to have custody, and she had wanted him to do something with hers or something, or she
like that.
Yeah, basically.
We had to drive to Sacramento to see him even.
So we had to accommodate what she wanted him to do that weekend. That she had plans with him, and so it was like she was like a third wheel, and
Okay.
that was that, and that was a crazy situation. And Gail wound up being a referee between us so that Eric would not be impacted.
And
I
he
know.
still loves me for doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really sweet story. Looking at
Yeah.
the silver lining of it.
Yes, those are not easy things
And the
to get over.
other weird time with Linda and us being there at the same time was we were working in the same company, Ronnie and me, and we were together, and in fact we were married. That's right.
Yeah.
And quickly, and we decided to go to the bank that he don't usually go to because it was by a restaurant we were going to. And funniest thing, we're in there doing our transaction, and he looks down and he says, "Does that look like my ex-wife?" I said, "I don't know. I've only seen her in the car. I don't know what she looks like standing up." And he said, "Yes, I'm sure that's her." And he went down to talk to her, and I'm writing out my check because we had separate checking accounts still. And all of a sudden I hear him say, "I need a bank officer here right now." And and the clerk, the teller that's waiting on me says, "Oh, this is so embarrassing. This happens when people get divorced and stuff." I said, "You think you're embarrassed? I'm the next wife."
And how did she react to
She
that?
said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." Linda was just trying to get some money out of our checking account because her middle name was Gail. I never knew that before.
Yeah, she was trying to take money out of my account, and without my permission. And that's why I called the bank officer, and they immediately froze the account, and neither one of us could take money out until they figured out. Yes, until they could figure
And I
out.
had my own account.
Yeah,
Whoops.
Gail had her own account. Anyway,
So
Wow.
that was just
that was weird.
a weird happening.
Because she lived
Interesting.
clear across in another town.
Yeah.
Really?
So
She came all the way across town just to do
yeah,
that?
yeah. So that was a weird thing that to catch your ex-wife, accidentally catch her trying to get money out of your account.
Oh,
Yeah, that was crazy.
Just imagine her day. Of course, they were like,
It was, I think I hinted it last time, it was a contentious divorce. It was not friendly, and so sometimes that happens to people, and it happened to me. But all my circumstances were not that way.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've talked about your grandmother. We had a friendly relationship throughout our knowing each other. You know.
How long after Linda did you meet Gail again?
Right when we were getting divorced.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yes.
was.
And I had already been single a couple of years, I think. Yeah.
How soon after you met did you end up proposing?
Within the first 6
year?
months, I think. Maybe 6 months to a year.
Wow.
I think it was a year.
Year? Okay.
And what
About a year.
made you decide to propose after you had already been married a couple times?
Well, I
I
think
know.
I think I told you before that when Linda and I got divorced, the reason I didn't want to get divorced is because I wanted to have a family.
Right,
I
yeah.
wanted to have a home and kids and all that. So I was motivated to be married. I didn't want to be single. That wasn't, I wasn't, at the age I was at, I wasn't there ready to run off and be single again, and have parties. I wasn't that kind of a person, so.
And me, I really didn't want to get married again. It's like,
Oh, because you had been married. That's right. You had been married
Yes.
before.
I had been married and I had gone back to him for a while.
Oh,
And
that's
I tried to make it work, and I just said, no, I don't think so. So I ultimately, before we got married, I had been single for like 5 years.
Wow.
Even though we lived together for a while before, and he kept asking me to marry him, and I said, no, I'm fine. Everything is good like it is now. Let's just leave it like it is. And finally one day, I don't remember if you got on your knee. I remember I was sitting in the chair,
It still hurts.
and he said to me, I want us to get married. And I said, I don't really think I want to do that. He said, look, I'm liberal enough to live with you, but conservative enough that I want to marry you. And so I finally said, okay. But I was worried.
That was really exciting. Okay.
Well,
I was so excited.
I was worried that it was going to ruin everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, things were going good.
Understandable.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
doing great. In fact, it didn't. We had a 20-year honeymoon, huh?
That's
Yeah.
what you said too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it all connects.
Yeah. It worked out.
Till we worked together.
Yes, that is what he said as well. I do have to ask before we move on to that. How many times did you propose? Because she said that you asked numerous times.
I'm 76 years old. I don't remember.
I think it was 3.
3, okay.
Third
So
time
on
is
the
a
third
charm.
time- There
Okay.
you go.
Third time's the charm. Okay.
Hey, you know what? 3 is my lucky number, so it is a good sign.
Yes.
So now on to the end of the honeymoon phase.
Oh, man.
Actually, before we go there, I must ask, what is the best memory you have of each other? Since we were just talking
Traveling.
about the honeymoon
I think
phase.
traveling around the Campmobile for
Yeah,
me.
the campmobile. Traveling.
We had a
The
Volkswagen.
Camping.
Yeah, I had a Volkswagen Westfalia. A minibus, and we used to go all over the Sierras,
spur of the moment,
Yosemite
take
or
off.
Big Sur. We just take off and go places, and so that was our fun time. We went all kinds of places.
Traveling.
North, yeah. Then we wind
And
up
we'd
in
sleep in the
Shasta,
camper.
and yeah, we go everywhere. Yeah, up and down the coast, all around California mostly, Nevada.
Where was your favorite place that you both have ever traveled to? Because you have traveled a lot throughout your lives together.
Yeah, Yosemite for me.
Mount Shasta.
Mount Shasta.
Really? Even though that's where you hit your noggin?
Well, we bought a place
We
there.
bought a house there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For how long?
For what?
I don't know,
3, 5 years, something like that.
at least that much. Because Justin came up there with Ronette when he was a little.
And my parents lived there for a while,
Yeah, we helped her parents out and let them live in Shasta at our house.
which helped us out because somebody was there and
Yeah.
They took care of the place for us while we weren't there.
Okay.
kind of, sort of. My parents are not good housekeepers. Neither am I, but I told them when we got together, you need to understand I am not Dolly domestic. I do not do housework.
Obviously, and she was not a liar. I can attest to that. She's not.
She was
is.
telling the truth.
She said she's not. Yes, she told the truth. She's not Dolly domestic. Okay.
So as soon as we could afford to, when I was working, we got
Our maid.
housekeepers.
Housekeepers. Yeah, most of our adult life together, we've had housekeeper.
Hey, I mean, if you don't want to do the work, might as well pay somebody else to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, we both work, so
Yeah,
it
exactly.
made sense.
It's hard sometimes when you don't have, I mean, you're spending so much time working and then it's like, okay, well, you want to spend more time hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
So cleaning can take up a lot of time
I
when it's
know.
so continuous and constant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've definitely learned living, alone.
You're still young.
I know. Sometimes it's just, it takes up way too much time, and how much time I spend working, it's a lot. So I want to get to that place where I'm just like, I make enough. Let me just pay somebody else to do it, you know. But gotta do what you gotta do. Anywho, now is your greatest memory as well traveling? Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And traveling, and actually most of our time spent at Mount Shasta. Yeah, it was so beautiful there, and quiet and restful, and we were working like crazy in Silicon Valley, and both of us in the computer field, and just constant
Yeah, we would,
stress.
on Friday after work, we'd jump in the car and take off for Shasta. It was about
5-hour
It was a
drive.
5-hour drive, and we got to Shasta, and then we woke up on Saturday morning in Mount Shasta. And we didn't come back till Sunday night.
And we'd take Kitty Boo Boo with us.
A cat.
And Kitty Boo Boo, when we were 5 miles away from, he would sit with his arm on the armrest, like, you know, and looking out the window.
That's so cute.
Truck drivers love it.
He liked the car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
And 5 miles from Mount Shasta, he would get up in the air vent and start smelling it, you know, and right on the dashboard.
Yeah, so the last
He
5
loved it
miles,
there.
he got up on the dash and couldn't wait.
He had a squirrel.
That's
He
so
and
cute.
he and the squirrel,
Good buddies.
good buddies.
Really?
Well, they scared each other, but it was great because they could chase each other. And,
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cat was in the house in the glass window, and the squirrel would come out the back porch and they'd look at each other. They couldn't get to each other, but they'd play. They'd pretend that they were really going to get at each other, but they never did.
But one day, our bedroom was upstairs. Everything was upstairs in this house. It was kind of weird. And we're laying in bed on Saturday morning, and I look back out the window, and here is the cat coming along the railing at the top, and the squirrel is coming up the rail. And neither could see each other until they got to the corner, and they both ran the other way. It was so funny. I wished I'd have had a video.
Oh,
camera.
that is adorable.
It was.
No.
It was. It was.
Yeah,
cute.
they were funny.
That's so sweet. Oh, I love kitties, and you love kitties too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh, I remember whenever I would come visit you both in Missouri. You know, when you had the restaurant, the bed and breakfast, you had so many feral cats that you took care of.
Yep.
Like dozens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got them. I got them neutered or spayed. As soon as I could trap them, well, he did help me with the trapping a little.
We trapped all the
the-
feral cats and got
Yeah.
them fixed.
In a raccoon trap.
Yeah.
Very humane. And
Yeah.
then I'd take them and get them fixed. But there was always one female
Got away.
that'd get away, or a female kitty that would get away, and they'd come back pregnant.
Yeah.
And also, we must have fixed 60, 70 cats while we were there.
They were on a first name basis with a vet.
And
Small town.
yes, and they never gave us a deal on them getting them
Really?
fixed. Yeah, we were paying like $25 to $50 each. But you know what? It was worth it.
She was known around town as the cat lady.
Yeah, you were.
The cat lady. You know how in a small town everybody's got, there's the different people. She was the cat lady in a town.
It was funny the day the 12-year-old girl, she's riding her bike, and I was outside sweeping up, cleaning up, and she got off her bike and she's talking to me, and then the kitties start coming out, right? And at one point she looked at me and she said, "Oh my gosh, you're the cat lady."
Busted.
Oh no. Like, really, the cat lady. And in fact, the vet told me I was the cat rescue, animal rescue in Jamesport. I was the only one doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, and there were so many cats.
Oh,
Yeah.
there were.
So many.
It took a long time to get them all spayed and neutered.
Oh yeah.
But then one time when little Ronnie was staying with us, we went outside and the fleas were jumping off off the deck, right? They would just, you walk and they'd be jumping. I said, oh my God, we're now going to be a flea bag motel. We have to get rid of these cats.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Ronnie brought the cat in, was sleeping with him in the bed, and it was a little kitten full of fleas.
he brought in about 3 or 4.
And he got him in the bed with him and slept with him. Full of fleas.
Because his bedroom had a door to the outside, so he could sneak out and get those kitties.
How old was he at the time? We're talking about my little
Like
brother, by the way.
9,
Yeah, about 9.
8 or 9, 9, maybe 10.
Yeah. Yeah, most of you guys had different experiences when you came to the farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were different ages.
Oh, yeah.
We tried to have everybody come to the farm and spend at least one summer with us, right? Spend some
Well, are
time.
you talking about the farm or the bed and breakfast?
I mean, the bed and breakfast.
Well, on the farm too.
Yeah.
You were just very
Those are some
small.
of my earliest memories.
Yeah, you were
was-
pretty
was the
small
farm.
then. We had what we call the kids camp, and in summertime I would send a notification out to all the family members who had kids, and offer to keep the kids at the farm and watch over them if they paid their airfare to come to Kansas City. We'd go pick them up at the airport, bring them out to the farm, and they'd spend some summertime there at kids camp, and they all came at the same time.
30 kids one time.
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah, we had a lot of kids, and they were all family or friends. And we had kids camp, and we took them around the back of a pickup, and we went horseback riding. We did all kinds of stuff with them.
Arrange things, swimming and
Playing with-
shooting.
shooting with BB gun. I taught them all how to shoot, gun safety. I even had a fellow that worked for me was a Marine sergeant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in the reserves, and so he came out and he taught them gun safety. He would call him Sarge, because he was a sergeant, master sergeant in Marines. So he came out and he taught all the kids gun safety. We bought a whole bunch of BB guns, so they could each have their own gun, and put up targets. You know, we had hay bales and stuff like that. And so all the kids come out and they all learned to shoot, and it was good fun. You know, we had a great time.
And Matthew remembers the Whoop-de-Doo Hills.
Oh, the whoop-de-doo, the whoop-de-doos.
Hills.
Oh,
They're driving between Jamesport and Trenton. No,
Chillicothe.
Chillicothe was a windy road and a lot of little hills on it, right? And certain hills, if you were going the right speed, would like lift you off like a roller coaster, you know, and make your stomach go woo.
back there they call it hill jumping, where teenagers would get in their cars, and they'd drive as fast as they could and go up the hill, and when they got to the top, they'd hit air. And just a little bit of air, and they'd come down on the other side of the hill.
Teenagers and grandma.
Yes. So, of course, when we had the kids in the car, we'd tell them, okay, we're going to the whoop-de-doos, and that's what we called them, the whoop-de-doos. And then if you're a skier, you know, the moguls, they call them whoop-de-doos too, I believe.
do they?
Yeah. And so anyway, we went and took the kids and took them over the hill and got up so that they went up in their seats, and it was like being weightless. Briefly weightless.
But I did it with Matthew alone in the old green pickup truck.
Yeah, the pickup truck.
He remembers that.
Anyway,
The only person that we never had there alone was Mickey.
Mickey, yeah.
He was always playing baseball or doing something else, and he couldn't come. So Mickey's the only guy that didn't spend time with us alone in Jamesport.
Yeah. You spent time with us alone in Nebraska, too.
In Nebraska,
Yeah.
yeah. I forgot how old I was. Maybe like 10.
Yeah, we took you all over the Oregon Trail and see the wagons and
Yeah.
And we went to see
Fort
Wizard
Robinson?
of Oz. No,
Rushmore.
that wasn't it.
yeah, we went to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. We saw Wizard of Oz in Fort Robinson with Noah and Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh, no, and Lucy.
And it was like tornadoing that night. I was so scared. The wind was blowing and then the hail started coming down. I said, oh my God, we're going to get blown away. We didn't.
There were great sound effects for the Wizard of Oz.
Perfect.
You know.
How convenient.
Yes. So that was fun. Yeah. Yeah, that was up at Fort Robinson, which was one of the main remounts for the cavalry, where they raised horses and where all the Indians were. And they had thousands of horses there.
Yeah.
Back
At one
then.
point, the Sioux Indians had 15,000 Sioux Indians living there, and each of them had 2 horses.
A lot of horses.
The Native Americans.
Native
Yeah.
Americans.
Yeah.
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 All right, my technical director is what we're calling him, just gave me the note that we are at 30 minutes on this battery, so we're gonna do a quick swap of batteries.
Really?
Yeah. We're gonna do a quick intermission. I know I said this is the unedited, unfiltered, and pure and real take of Captain Ron Ledesma, but I don't want us to run out of time on this battery because it started out at 118 minutes and now we're at 30, and we've only been going for 40 minutes. So I want to switch it out now, and we have a backup battery. So all right, see you in after I cut this.
Instantaneous.
Instantaneously. All right, do it. See how instantaneous that was? Insane! It's like we weren't even gone.
Magic of editing.
Through the magic of theater. That used to actually be in scripts that we would read in theater. It was like in the stage directions, like, through the magic of theater, he flies through the air. I was like, okay, sounds good. But anywho, welcome back. So where were we? We were talking about, you were talking about tornadoes and how there was a tornado coming through when The Wizard of Oz was playing.
That's when we lived in Nebraska. We lived in Scottsbluff, Nebraska for a few years. And so Scottsbluff, Nebraska happened to be right along the Oregon Trail. So while we lived there, we explored all of the stuff that had to do with the Oregon Trail and that whole area, going to Yellowstone, to the Tetons, to Mount Rushmore. We went to see the wild buffaloes, Fort Robinson.
And the
Pinnacle.
Indian guy that's being made, that giant...
Oh, Crazy Horse?
Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse Monument, yeah. And so basically while we lived there, we used that opportunity to visit all the sites along the Midwest in that area.
It was really great.
Very informative. And we took the grandkids there too.
Yeah.
Noah, you came there. Noah and Lucy spent a lot of time there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember that they would constantly actually come visit you guys a lot.
Yeah, you were in Montana. You went with the Davis family to Montana. And then Lucy and Noah and us came up there to meet with you in Montana, outside of Yellowstone
In our
Park.
motorhome.
So I was actually just I was going through my email inbox and deleting a bunch of emails and stuff and purging the inbox, so to speak. And I came across a Google Drive folder that you had shared with me that I never saw before, that had a bunch of pictures, like all the pictures that you have of me. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. And I was looking through them, and those pictures from that trip came up, and I was like, oh, I remember this.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, that's something I did for all of you grandchildren. All of those pictures of you and Google Photos and that folder with all your pictures in it, every time I've taken a picture of you since, it goes in that folder.
Yeah,
and
there were some very recent pictures
and you
in there.
still have access, and also to all the other grandkids. So any picture that I have of you that I've taken over the years is available to you anytime. And that's just one of the things I did for all the grandkids.
Yeah.
They all have the same thing. So they can look at their pictures anytime.
That's awesome. Very sweet of you.
I also did a hard copy of the pictures last Christmas.
Yeah, I think
And put
it's
them on
one
a
of the flash
drive.
drives.
Yeah, and I gave them out to each of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember one thing about growing up when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of pictures because you had to take film. And a roll of film, typically in a camera that we had, like a little Kodak Brownie camera, had 12 pictures. 10, 12, okay. 12 pictures you could take. That was maximum. So you took 12 pictures, then you had to take it to a drugstore and send it in. They'd mail it off, it'd get processed, and they'd send you back, and you'd get 12 pictures. Whether they were good pictures or bad pictures, that's all you got. So
And you had to pay for
and you
it.
had to, it was cost money to do
Yeah.
that. So a family, especially back then, we didn't have a lot of money to spend on pictures, and you only had a few you could take because each one cost you. So you had to just take one and then pose everybody, then take another one. And those pictures always wound up with your mom or your dad or your uncle. You never got them. So you grow up, you don't have pictures of your youth.
Until they die.
Until they die, and then hopefully when your folks die, you'll go through their stuff and you'll find the old photos, you know. So that's why old photos were so important. But now, digitally, I can share all those photos, so when I die, you can still have access to all the pictures I took of you.
At our fingertips.
Yeah, Exactly. So that's another change in technology that has occurred in my lifetime that I really like, because I'm a photographer and so is Gail.
As am
So-
I.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why I think I get a lot of my creativity from, you and that kind of side of our family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't get it from me, but
Hey, but you influenced me in a lot of ways. It doesn't matter if we're blood related or not.
good.
Yeah.
I hope I've been a good influence.
You have.
Good.
You didn't teach her all your bad tricks?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know all of the bad tricks.
Well, I tell you,
The best ways.
there's a lot of good ways to be bad.
That's very true. You heard it here first, folks.
And I know them all.
Indeed.
Not all.
Alrighty. With about the last 15, 20 minutes that we have,
Yes.
let's get into what is your favorite moment that you've had with each other? Did I already ask that? Oh, I did. Yeah, the trips, the traveling. What is your what's the kind of I want to get into bring it back to music. So what kind of music did you introduce to each other, since we are a podcast about
Oh.
incorporating music a lot?
We were talking about that earlier. I was just trying to think of the names of groups that Gail introduced me to. The biggest one, the one I like the most, is the Alan Parsons Project. That I had not heard of them before. And about 1981, when Gail and I got together, that was one of the artists that she shared with me, along with Loverboy, I think, at the time. Yeah, Loverboy was one that she liked. Yes, it was.
Loverboy?
Yeah, it was a temporary thing, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, there's a group called Loverboy, or a singer called Loverboy. Look it up, you'll find it. And it was really popular at the time in the early '80s. So anyway, there was that. There was Paul Horn that we talked about. The Flautist. Remember the Flautist? Not food.
And there was Dino Valentini or something.
Valenti.
Valenti. Yes.
Dino Valenti.
Dino Valenti. And who else? We were talking about, Pat Metheny.
Pat Metheny.
Metheny, and I introduced him to, those, just a few. Boz Scaggs was one of my favorites, and I like Willie Nelson. I really loved. And
On the road again.
And
I had a bunch though.
yes,
Well, the first thing I did for Gail after I met her was I made a mixtape for her,
bunch of tapes.
and it was called
Friends.
Ta-da! Friends. When I first met Gail, we were friends, so the first mixtape I bought for her was Friends. And I put a lot of music on it that she enjoyed. And so she had that. And I made many more over the years. And
The
eventually...
second one was called Me.
No, that was one I sent to you was about me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
It
different.
was about him.
Yeah.
And it helped me to get to know him. And I remember playing those tapes in the car with my sister, and she said, man, if I had a guy who sent me that kind of music, I wouldn't be in Arizona. I'd be with him.
Hey, and then you ended up being with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of the music that I made for Gail over the years, all of the mixtapes, some like You and Me, Yellow Roses,
Yellow Roses.
Gail,
Yeah.
there was a lot of them. Us. I took all of those and put them all in one big playlist now, which is on Spotify. It's called Vieja. I added all those to the one I was doing on Spotify for her, so all of the ones I'd sent her in the past or made for her are all in that one place.
I guess I've never gotten all the way through it.
I just did that a few weeks ago when I was updating the playlist.
It's brand new.
That was the part where I went back over the years and got all the music that I had made for you before,
Yes.
and then added that to your playlist on Spotify.
Cool.
So they're all there now.
Thank you.
They're all there
Because
now.
I listen to that when I walk.
There you go.
You know. Yeah, you started walking a lot recently.
Yeah, a lot of music. But anyway, Vieja, that's on Spotify. And also, this last couple of weeks, I transferred all of my public playlists from Spotify
Onto YouTube, right?
to YouTube
Yeah.
and to Amazon Music. I haven't done it to iTunes yet, but I may do that also. I have an account on each of those, So I subscribe to all those services.
Yeah, you'll have to send me the links of those so I can put them in the description.
Yeah, I can do that to my profile on YouTube and on Amazon Music. And so I don't just have my playlists on Spotify anymore. I moved them and migrated them all over.
I love it.
Yeah.
Multi-platform.
So if you're not a Spotify fan, go to YouTube. If you're not a YouTube fan, go to Amazon. And if you're not an Amazon fan either, you're out of luck. Yeah, you're out of luck.
And the nice thing about Ronnie and me is we appreciate the same kinds of music, very eclectic. I love classical music. In fact, one of the first things we did, that he did for me when I moved to San Francisco, was he bought season tickets to the
Symphony, the San Jose Symphony.
San Jose Symphony.
Yeah, we have season tickets for the symphony.
Yeah. Which was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved it. We were very cultured then.
Yeah, music is important.
It is. I think it's
Yeah.
extremely
Music and
important
photography.
influential and
Two things we had in common: music and photography.
it shapes a lot of things, you know. What do you think has been the most influential part that music has played in your love life?
Helps keep us mellow and civil.
Listen, I heard once the way women get angry and the way men feel. So the way women express anger and the way men express feelings. And I figured out right away that music is the way Ronnie expresses his feelings. So even though he talks to me his feelings, which I love, he's very romantic. Well, he
She's
was.
telling us secrets now.
He was when he was younger. Oh! As he's gotten older, he's kind of a curmudgeon now, but that's okay. I still have those lovely memories. Anyway, that I figured that's the way he expresses his feelings, and so I love that. I love that about you. And every time I listen to that music, I'm in love with Ronnie all over again. That's true. Yes.
So music is important to us.
I think to a lot of people. Probably,
Yes.
I would probably go as far as to say at least 75% of the world thinks that music is extremely important. I mean, I'm just guessing here, so don't quote me on any of that, but I would say, I don't know, it's really important.
And in our current situation, music makes me cry a lot. His music,
Yeah.
which is good for me. It's good for me to cry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's therapeutic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
So speaking of which, the current situation that it is, we've spoken a lot, with Ronnie about how he's doing, his mental health and all that, and what are your updates on that?
Well, Gail can probably tell you, I'm coughing a lot. I spend a lot of time coughing, and when I get started, sometimes it's hard to stop. My voice is always hoarse because of the stuff I'm coughing up in my vocal cords. I'm struggling to get oxygen sometimes when I'm just puttering around the house. So that just continues to slowly get worse. So the little oxygen thingy here is always close at hand in case I need it. Sitting down and talking still, I can maintain a decent oxygen level. And since she gets to talk tonight, I don't have to talk as much. I don't have to take, breathe as much oxygen to stay up with it. Yeah.
It's hard for him to get a word in edgewise.
I didn't say that. She said that. You heard it here first. Hard for me to get a word in edgewise, in case you didn't hear it. Okay. She said it. Okay. Next.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we are in a different location. We did mention last time that it would probably be the last time that we were going to do the episode upstairs, because that's where we were in all the previous episodes, next to where all of the records are. But instead, I had Lady Gail go upstairs and pick out the record and bring it down here. And this, I think, at least for this episode, but probably future episodes, is going to be our new setup. Just because it's easier. It's
Don't have to go up and
downstairs.
down the stairs.
Yeah, it's easier on his lungs. So, Now, with all of that updates on you, I want to hear from Lady Gail how it's been affecting you.
Well, at first I was like totally depressed, completely. I was saying things like, well, there's no reason for me to live. I have nothing to live for. And I didn't find that shocking at all to have that thought. But when I finally said, well, I should probably get some counseling to help me get through this. And when I talked to the counselors, they said, what? Are you thinking of committing suicide? I said, well, not right away.
Wow.
And they were, oh, okay, we'll get you some counseling. Kaiser was like right there, you know? And so I didn't realize at the time how depressed I was. And so I've been doing counseling since January, I think. And we first were meeting every week. Now we meet every other week. And I'm sure as things change, we'll go back to weekly. I also got into physical therapy. I started walking. I am in a caregivers group, which I love, meeting and talking with other women who are dealing with the same thing.
I think that's so important.
Yeah.
It's a really important environment for you to be in right now.
Yes. And so I feel like I'm getting a lot of support, which I love, and I wish you had as much support. I try to give you support, but...
You do.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm doing much better. I'm feeling, yes, there is life after Ronnie. It might not be as much fun, but...
It'll be different.
Yeah.
I won't be here.
Yeah. But I'll have our memories and our music. And yeah, so I'm doing well, but I get emotional, like right now I feel it. Then I cry and I'm better, and he's very open about it, and we talk to each other when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that you're very open with each other and allow yourselves the space to, have those kinds of conversations.
Yes.
We have a lot to reconcile because we're different people emotionally. And so I have a different perspective, and it's hard to merge those two. And so sometimes I'm feeling open about something and not being affected by it when I don't realize Gail is feeling much different. It's hitting her in a different way. So we always have to talk that through, figure out, what's going on. Yeah.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It brings us closer in a lot of ways.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And this year is a pretty big year for you guys, It's the 40 year anniversary,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Of
40.
being married. We've actually been together for about 42.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So what thoughts do you have around, your 40-year anniversary of marriage?
I'll just be glad to be here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'd just be
Yeah.
happy
Hey.
if he's here.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will be.
Yeah. I'm hoping.
And we celebrate our 40 years every day now, I think.
Yeah, we're more at peace with each other.
Yeah.
Good.
We don't argue as much. There's no profit in it.
We argue in some ways jokingly.
Yes, you do
Yes.
argue in joking ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like you have a really great and solid relationship with each other, and I admire the love that you guys have. I mean, it's hard for a lot of people to say that they've been together for 40 years, especially to say that they were in the honeymoon phase for at least 20 of those years.
Yes.
I feel like that's very rare
Yep.
nowadays.
Mm-hmm. And we still love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you have any last thoughts to leave our
Oh, don't say
audience
last
here?
thoughts.
For this episode.
For this episode.
For this episode.
Oh, thank you.
Don't worry.
The other day he said,
talk more.
the other day he said to me, if I'm lying, I'm dying. He said, oops, I gotta take that one out.
Yeah.
use that one
Yeah, there's
anymore.
certain sayings I have to quit now. And that's one of them. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I can't say that anymore. Because I'd be lying all the time.
So, you wanted a little closure?
Any last thoughts that you have for your friends, family, and fans?
Oh, my.
Thank you, Kayla, for doing this. That's what yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love it that you're doing this. It's so important. It's such a gift. Such a gift.
I wanted to do something to, spend more time with my grandpa and get to know him more as a human being and his life, and get to know him as a friend and a companion as opposed to just my grandfather. And I wanted to record all these conversations for everybody, my family and our distant relatives and his friends and future generations to come, so that they can get to know,
Hey.
Captain Ron once he's gone.
By the way, let me tell everybody out there, if you feel up to it, come on by and visit us. We're still here and we enjoy ourselves and we know how to cook. So if you're...
Yes.
Oh, yes,
I'm going to be doing a dinner monthly because Ronnie can't go out anymore. I'm going to invite people in and I will cook everything.
Everything.
We just had one with wonderful lasagna, Grandpa's pizza lasagna.
Oh, it's so good.
And caprese salad, and what else? Grilled zucchini, and
Yeah, my cousins came over.
yeah, John and Ann Bacrinos.
And your
then
friends.
my friends, Ann and her husband Stephen, who is a archaeologist, professor at UC Fullerton, and the men had a wonderful time talking, and the women had a wonderful time talking.
So we
was
enjoy having company. So you're welcome to come over, visit.
Yes, you let
Give me
me
a
know
call.
if I don't invite you, you call me, because I'm gonna slowly work through, probably 6 people at a time is 6 additional people other than us, 3 couples, is probably the most I can stand. I mean, stand to cook for, but yeah,
Yeah, that's fun having people over.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice break that you get to have from, just your day-to-day things
Yes.
and projects, and it's nice to socialize in these
Yes.
in these times.
Yeah.
And I hope friends and family won't be really shocked by some of the things we talked about, but we did them all and we enjoyed them, and
Yeah.
it's part of life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We looked at life as an experiment,
As it should be, honestly.
From both
That's
sides.
the best way to do it.
from both sides now.
Well, thank you both so much for joining me, and Lady Gail, thank you so much for being a guest on today's episode.
Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely, maybe we'll have you back to discuss more things and drop more secrets.
no secrets.
Alrighty. Well, everybody, please say goodbye to your friends, family, and fans.
Bye. Captain Ron signing off.
Later.
Lady Gail
Lady Gail signing off.
and Kayla Marie Coates signing off. All right. See you all in 2 weeks. Bye.